Hi class, this is Tommy Dennis, and I just want to go over with you one of the most important forms as a director that we use, a pre-production form called the shot breakdown. You may have seen them before, but I'm going to go a little more in depth with it. The first thing we need to know is the two most important things that we need as directors, that we need on set all the time, is a storyboard, which can go right here. As you can see, this is in the 1.85 aspect ratio, which is close to 16 by 9, which is 1.78. So this can be a pretty good representation of what we're going to see. You don't have to be a great artist. You can use stick figures. Just make sure that the proximity is right. Understand shot size. Understand, how to show a push or a pull out. Tilt, pan, or you can write it down here in the notes where it says write out your shot here if you need to. And the second thing is the camera setup, which is right here. And this is where you're going to show the camera. It will be placed in relationship to the talent and the set pieces. And you use an overhead diagram. I'm going to show you an example of this in a little bit. So you're going to draw the set without the talent or the camera. And then usually we make a whole bunch of copies. And then so you don't have to keep drawing the set over. If you're going to do it digitally, you can just continuously keep putting in the overhead diagram by just, copying and pasting. And then you can add in your camera and your talent. That's the two most important things you need to know. And the things that you have to successfully do pre-production as a director. You also have to break down the script, of course, as far as characterization, beats, everything like that. So, but this is just kind of a little archaic, kind of bare bones minimum what you can use. What I've done is I've just filled some of these in for you. Remember your shot. Usually shots are letters, scenes are numbers. You might see it as both. You might see it as shots being numbers and scenes being numbers. You might see 1.1 as a shot. I don't like using that because if you don't put the point in there, it just looks like an 11. And there's some letters that we don't use either. G usually can look like a 6. I can look like an L. It can look like anything. So remember to stay away from letters that look like numbers. The title is the name of the film, Set. This is taken from the script slugline. I know in screenwriting, when you write a script, a slugline tells you where we're at, the season, if it's day or night, and the actual set where it takes place as far as in the script. If it's home, the office, day. I know you've gone over that, so I don't need to beat that to death. But we got the period, which is year, season, winter, time, day or night. We need to know that too. That's for your DP. Remember, your cast goes here. You always give cast members a number, and usually your stars are usually have the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Bits are characters with just a couple lines, and extras are non-speaking background talent. Now down here we would put in process, effects, and construction. This could be blue screen, plates, or anything built for the shot. If we have to build something for that shot, then we would put that in here. Here's another thing that's very important, camera height. This is your camera angle. You're going to write in, you're going to measure it too. Where was your camera at when you shot this? You're going to write, the feet, the inches, and you're also going to put if it's a high angle, low angle, eye level, or just whatever angle you're going to be shooting at, you can put it there. Your focal length and framing is what lens you're using and what the shot size is. So you might be shooting at a 50mm lens, and the shot size might be a medium shot. The shot before and the shot after, this is if you're doing a paper edit. So let's say I had 5 shots that I had to do. So I do 5 shot breakdowns. Well, if I want to cut this together and see if it's going to work, I can go ahead and make 20 of these and use the same 5 shots and actually make a timeline out of paper showing my edit. So I might use the same shot 10 times as I'm cutting it. So don't get that confused. Um, I'm not looking for that for the project in this class, but if you want to do it as beginning filmmakers, it's always good because you can see the whole film in front of you. I used to do that a lot. Props, action props, animals, any prop used to support, that's for the shot. Props are something that the actors hold. Um, the action that they do with it is called business. You can put that in here. Your camera setup, this is very important. Every camera has a number. If we're in scene 1, it's shot 1A and it's a close-up. That will always be camera setup 1. Now you might have a different shot and a different scene, or we may come back to that scene, but that setup is always going to be number 1. That's how we schedule. A location would be soundstage, where we're going to be. Sequence is actually, we'll get into that later, because that's usually an editing term. Total script pages, and I think we went through this before. It'll be in eighths. So I actually have an example here that I want to show you of just one shot breakdown I did for a documentary that I shot. So you can kind of see where I'm coming from. And this was from a documentary I did about a power lifter and about his dad. They both went to the championships, or the global championships, and both won. So as you can see, the main thing right here is the camera setup, interview of Joe, and with B-roll. This is Joe right here. What I did is I actually went and I did stills to get my storyboards, and then I went out and shot it. So as you can see, it says scene 2, shot A. It's Joe's interview plus B-roll. My cast is Joe. His number was number 2. I had no bits, no extras. I had no processing effects. My camera height was eye level and low. So at this point, you can kind of see what I did. I started eye level, and then I tilted. I actually tilted up to him, so he looked bigger in the frame. There was a reason I did that, because he was just getting ready to bench press 500 pounds, and he's 72 years old. My focal length was a medium close shot to a full shot, so you know I'm pulling out. I didn't have to do this because I already knew shot before and shot after. I already knew what I was doing. I already knew how it was going to edit. And usually with a documentary, it's hard to write a timeline for editing. Props, action, I didn't need any of that in here. The weights were already there because we were at a gym, as you can see right here. We were at the gym at the YMCA. This was my second set. It wasn't really I didn't use sequences in this. I didn't have to use script pages because I didn't know how long it was going to be. I just went shooting, and you don't really script a documentary. You can have questions, but it's hard to script one. So there you go. This is something I use, but just remember, these two things here are the most important: camera setup and storyboard. And I want you to do these for your shoot, for your 2-person dialogue, and for your location shooting in this class. All right, my friends, I hope you got something out of this, and if you need anything, always reach out and get a hold of me.